Welcome back, everyone. I am so thrilled you're joining me for this explainer because today we are diving into an absolutely high-stakes tale. Imagine a world where cutting-edge modern medical science collides head-on with the ruthless, totally labyrinthine politics of an ancient imperial court. It's a story of survival, science, and, you guessed it, secrets. We're going to break down exactly how our protagonist literally rewrites history using nothing but her clinical brilliance. Okay, let's dive right into this fascinating narrative. Now, ancient palace dramas can be incredibly complex. To help us navigate this chaotic web of poisoning plots, shifting alliances, and romance, here is our roadmap. We're looking at a doctor's time travel reincarnation, modern science meeting the ancient court, surviving deadly palace conspiracies, healing the rejected prince, and finally the ultimate medical challenge. All right, let's hit that first section. Section 1. A doctor's time travel reincarnation. So, every great story needs a jarring, inciting incident, right? Well, this one is absolutely top tier. Imagine being a brilliant modern doctor and suddenly waking up inside a bleeding, dying body, completely surrounded by hostile strangers in a royal palace. Literally, that is exactly what happens to our protagonist. You've got this immediate, super fascinating friction of her dual identity. Think about it. The original Yuan Lingling was a disgraced princess. She was a loathed outcast, a victim of terrible abuse, and left to literally bleed out on the floor. But the person who wakes up in that body, she's a modern doctor now. Cool, clinical, highly logical, and honestly, she just refuses to die. She doesn't panic. She immediately starts diagnosing her own fatal wounds. But you've got to wonder, how exactly does she treat herself in an ancient era with absolutely no hospitals? Well, her survival actually hinges on this crucial magical mechanic known as space transmission. It's a supernatural ability that lets her seamlessly summon modern laboratory medicines directly into the ancient world. We're talking iodine, cephalosporins, fever reducers, the whole shebang from her modern lab. It is a real game changer. It lets her treat her own fatal wounds and totally jumpstarts this incredible hero's journey from a discarded victim to an absolute master of healing. Which brings us to Section 2, Modern Science Meets Ancient Court. So she survives, right? But the real friction hits the second she steps out of her room. We're talking about an absolute culture clash when Lingling starts unleashing these modern medical miracles on a completely unsuspecting dynasty. The juxtaposition here is just stunning. Think about the ancient court's mindset. When someone falls ill, it's peak drama. It's all fatalistic acceptance of death, prepping the coffin way too early, crying witchcraft, and just relying on these basic herbal broths. And then you have Lingling's modern clinical mindset. While they're literally planning funerals, she's in there administering dopamine for heart failure, setting up IV drips, performing CPR, and prescribing antibiotics. To the ancient court, her methods look like pure magic. Or, terrifying sorcery. And it's wild how quickly she scales up these interventions. Let's look at the timeline. Day 1, she defies everyone to cure a young servant named Guare of this incredibly severe infected eye wound that the royal doctors swore was fatal. Fast forward to Day 2, and she's saving the former emperor himself from anaphylactic shock using modern injections. By week 1, she's treating her own estranged husband, Prince Chu, for deep combat wounds using blood typing and transfusions. And by month 1, she tackles the ultimate boss battle, Prince Huai's terminal tuberculosis. With every single life she saves, she rockets her status from a despised outcast to this influential, basically untouchable healer. But of course, moving to Section 3, Surviving Deadly Palace Conspiracies, it is never that easy, is it? In the imperial court, healing the wrong person, or honestly, just being a little too successful, paints a massive target on your back for deadly political conspiracies. Take this vicious accusation from her rival, Queen Shi. She deliberately placed the wisteria in the scented bag to harm the emperor. This perfectly captures the intense, literal life-or-death stakes of Lingling's new reality. When the emperor suffers that allergic shock, Queen Shi instantly weaponizes it. It's a total catch-22. Failing to heal a patient means execution for incompetence, but actually saving them? Well, your rivals will just frame you for treason. And this brilliantly illuminates the core mystery of the palace. Who actually poisoned the emperor? Because first, it was the wisteria allergy, but then they discover his daily royal medicine pills were secretly laced with deadly cinnabar. Really take a second to ponder who the true mastermind might be. Lingling has to navigate this insane labyrinth where every innocent cup of tea or scented bag could literally be a murder weapon, all while, trying to keep her patients breathing. And the danger definitely isn't just in the medicine. There's this dizzying abduction subplot. A powerful military figure named Hui Dinghao abducts Lingling. He's out for revenge against her husband, Prince Chu, and he plans to torture her for military secrets. It's an absolutely terrifying ordeal. But in a massive turning point, Prince Chu violently raids the compound with his personal army to save her. Hui Dinghao is exiled by the emperor and then very swiftly and very mysteriously assassinated by bandits on the road out of the capital. Palace justice does not mess around. That dramatic rescue is the perfect setup for Section 4, Healing the Rejected Prince. Let's dive right into this fan-favorite enemies-to-lovers arc between Lingling and the very man who initially completely despised her, her husband, Prince Chu, also known as Yuan Hao. We really have to track his shifting perspective here because it is a total roller coaster. At the very beginning, he literally forces her to drink what he thinks is a poisonous broth just to silence her. Yeah, rough start. When she starts busting out her modern tools, like making him listen to his own heartbeat with a stethoscope or running a blood group test for a transfusion, he's convinced she's lost her mind. But then, he's completely stunned by her unwavering loyalty when she clears her own name during the emperor's poisoning trial. And the final step in his evolution is him willingly risking treason and his entire military standing just to rescue her from those kidnappers. Which brings us to the emotional core of this arc. He says, as long as she is my queen, I will protect her. Talk about a satisfying moment of character vindication. After all the horrible abuse and mistrust she suffered, Lingling's absolute competence and clinical dedication just forced the prince to finally see her incredible worth. He goes from being her biggest threat to her absolute fiercest protector. But even with the prince backing her up, she isn't in the clear. Section 5, the ultimate medical challenge. Let's look at the final, seemingly impossible hurdle Lingling has to clear to lock in her absolute safety within the imperial family. The emperor tasks her with curing Prince Huai. The diagnosis? Terminal tuberculosis. In the ancient world, this is a 100% guaranteed death sentence. I mean, the royal family has literally already built the kid's coffin. So this is Lingling's ultimate gamble. If she cures the totally incurable, she's basically untouchable. But if she fails, she faces the unbridled wrath of the grieving emperor and the boy's mother, Consort Lu. And as always, the court politics just make the medicine 100 times harder. You've got Queen Shi pulling off this petty, deadly sabotage. She's spreading malicious rumors that Lingling is actively trying to kill the prince. And she even encourages the sick, totally hopeless boy to spit out his life-saving medicine. But Lingling, she counters this with uncompromising clinical authority. She is not playing their political games. She mandates strict quarantine protocols, forces the royal family to wear face masks, and administers concentrated modern antibiotic pills, demanding absolute obedience to her medical regimen. The result is the absolute triumph of science. She survives the outrage of the royal family, even taking a literal physical slap from the prince's mother. But she holds her ground. She demands 15 days of strict medical adherence. And guys, she actually does it. She successfully cures Prince Huai's tuberculosis, pulling him right back from the brink of death. By pulling off this miracle, she secures a blanket royal pardon for any past transgressions and earns the ultimate favor and protection of the emperor. Her transformation from an abused bleeding victim to the most revered healer in the entire dynasty is officially complete. So Lingling has survived poisonings, abductions, and incurable diseases. She's now expecting a child with a prince who fiercely loves her, and she has completely revolutionized imperial medicine. But it leaves us with one final, super provocative question to ponder. Will this treacherous court finally accept her power, or is her massive success just setting the stage for the deadliest political storm yet? Palace drama never truly sleeps, does it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I will catch you on the next one.